Peace. What's up, everybody? Another day, another dollar, so to speak. Yeah, you know, know thyself. I'm on the same level as a lot of others out here in the process of learning our old ways. In reference to just remembering ourselves and knowing yourself. Knowing thyself is so strong because, well, it's very strong because I was just listening to something the brother Rod Hayes dropped. It was a little short and concise video, but it hit hard. You know what I'm saying? That's why we don't really need a lot of long, drawn out stuff, because once you start getting in the process of remembering who you are, remembering yourself, just like I said in one of the videos, I was raised up a certain way, and I already knew right from wrong, so I was already primed to become a Muslim, and to be a Muslim, and what everything that Islam was teaching, I really already knew it, because I already knew what was right and what was wrong. And let's say this group of people call it Islam, another group of people may call it something different, but it's all about connection to the Most High Creator. Right now, you can go deeper and say the connection to self, higher self. We all come from the higher self, Allah, Hawa, the Most High, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And we are made in the image of the higher self, Allah, God, the Most High, Hawa, all of that, right? So when, let's say, we run across some information on this side, and they say this, that, and the third, but it's pointing to the same direction, like to the Most High Creator, Allah, your higher self. So when you're hearing this information, this is stuff that you basically already know it. So, you don't have to really go in, you do have to go into like books and things of that nature, because, well, I'm saying you don't have to. Some people don't have to. They can just figure stuff out without having to read a book or even have to sit with somebody, because, well, you got to sit with somebody, meaning you got to listen to their words and hear what they're saying. But a lot of this stuff is stuff that most of the stuff is you already know it. You just don't know you know it. You just have to tap into your true self, and just start figuring it out, and that's why many different advices, you got, because me, I take my messages from different things, whether it be like your signals and signs from stuff, but that's because I'm at the point now where I'm paying attention to it, whereas a lot of time, most of the time in our lives, we've been walking around heedless or just not paying attention, because we're focused in on things that's not going to bring us any kind of benefit, like constant entertainment, constant, we thinking life is supposed to just be fun all the time. Life is fun, but, well, I'm just saying, for most of us that's have to rebuilding ourselves, rebuilding yourself ain't always going to be fun. You know what I'm saying? So, getting to know, and when knowing thyself is deep. You know what I'm saying? But just because and you can find the knowledge of self in many different genres of information. So I really advise myself, and I advise everybody else, because I figured it out by being on multiple lines of information. Let's say the first little spark with certain stuff was, for me personally, was African Americans ain't African. And then me being pissed off about, of course, for years and years, all my life, being pissed off about, the treatment of my people over time. So, and I always knew I wasn't no African, but it ain't nothing wrong with being African, or I'm not African. though I am related to Africans, like come on, but I ain't related to them through no slave trade. But this is something I always knew, and so when people was coming with the information about different things, I already knew that because of what my mom said. You know, like even on the level of speech she had, saying that our grandmother Josephine was a Seminole, and our grandpapa Arthur was a so-called Cherokee. So Seminoles and Cherokees don't produce Africans. They don't. They produce more Seminoles and more Cherokees, and we know that it goes deeper than that. Like with the true names of the people, and that other names were given to the people by people not of them or people coming from other places. But we understand that. We know that. Well, I know that, and I understand that. But what I'm just saying in the base, so everybody understand, I always knew from my mom, that. And then on the other side, on my father's side, it's the same thing. There ain't no difference. The people we come from. I don't come from African people, though we are related. But that's a whole nother story. I'm not really touching on that story. There was always commerce and intercourse between these two lands that didn't have nothing to do with no type of slavery or putting people under servitude and all that, right? All right, so you know what I'm saying? But if you know yourself, you'll know you ain't gonna get tripped up on that. You know what I mean? Because some people still tripped up on the black stuff. Some people still tripped up on the slave story and all that, but not understanding all of that. Not saying that people wasn't under servitude, okay? You know what I mean? Most of our people were prisoners of war. Okay, do the math. I mean, not the math. Do the research. Maybe your people was under some form of servitude in that kind of oppression, but it wasn't slavery. It wasn't that. It was you were prisoners of war, and you still a prisoner of war. So you have to do your homework. If you don't do your homework, to know thyself. If you don't want to know yourself, then don't know yourself. Like just be doing what you've been doing. But for those who want to know thyself, then you're gonna have to maybe do some work. But I'm trying to bring out another aspect of the game is that you ain't gotta look far. Only thing you gotta do is look internally. You know what feels right to yourself, and you know what feels wrong. The brother was talking about, the brother was talking about on the video that everything that's been written has already, was already been written in stone, and things of that nature. And really, the stuff that you already knew was recycled and refed to you in a inverted type of way, meaning just all of the let's say the Bible stuff. And the Bible stuff is the Quran stuff. The Quran stuff is the Bible stuff. So it's the same stories. It's the stories of old, right? Even in the Quran, it speaks about the prophets coming to people and telling them about certain stories, like the story of Moses or the story of Noah. And the people would say, man, get out of here, man. That's from the stories of old. How stupid then if it's from the stories of old, then it's the truth. It's the story of the truth then. So why are you rejecting the truth just because they might be clothing it in the name of Islam or the name of whatever? Like, I'm just using that because, you know what I mean? But knowing thyself, if you know yourself, you know what's connected to you. Because I'm connected to all of it. And this is the process of rebuilding yourself. So I don't walk around with all that stuff, looking at people like they're crazy because they pulling out the Bible or they talking about the Trinity. I ain't on that no more because I already know what it is. It's something that we already knew. Just like the brother was saying, even with the true Trinity stuff come from Egyptian culture. But we already dug deep on what Egyptian culture is and where it truly come from and what it really is. All the Trinity, whether it be Osiris, Isis, Horus. Come on, man. Stuff been around. So why would you have so-called conscious Christian people arguing with Egypt people? and vice versa. Why? It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. And then you bring Islam in, and Islam, to me, you know what I mean? Like you know, even like on a level, right? Because you know we think things when we by ourselves that we may not reveal to other people just because we don't know how they're gonna take it. Like me, I always used to like I used to I used to feel bad, right? That I used to get emotional when I used to hear gospel music. You know, I would get emotional. It makes me emotional, right? All right, cool. I'm cool with it right now, but I'm just saying throughout my life, I used to get emotional when I heard gospel music, right? Because the gospel music was resonating with me, right? Okay, cool. But you know, I kind of always, well, as I started growing, I look at Islam like science. Science is very, it's, you know what I mean? It's like science. And Christianity is like magic. This is me, how I understand and break stuff down in my mind, right? So yeah. So, and then I used to be thinking like, well, we all prayer warriors, the Muslims, the Christians, everybody, right? Boom, you know, the Israelites, you know, just to bring that, because that's all us, you know, and the Moors really encompass all of that. Like you could be Moors, all of that is Moors, but another story. But I could just check myself, like, man, I seen some amazing things done by these these old Christian prayer war ladies. They like, man, you don't want to mess with them, because when they start praying on something like even if they want to move you off the block, I seen it. I seen it with my own eyes. Them prayer wars to get your ass off the motherfucking block, just to be, so you understand me. So yeah, you know, that's my mind. You know, Islam was, to me, is like science, and Christianity is like magic. But you can take it however you want to take it. But because that's how you're gonna take it anyway, the way you want to take it. So that's what we all do. But the connection to everything is where I'm at. And there's other stuff that I'm definitely, you know what I mean, connected to, and it resonates with me. You know what I mean? Even recognizing, man, when you watch them karate movies and you start seeing the hairstyles that they, you know, do you recognize who they portraying on them kung fu movies? Do you really see? Are your eyes really open? Just something to think about. But I just want to touch on that. And know thyself. Get more every day. Every day is getting to the knowing yourself. You know what I mean? So you can be more bulletproof, and you can be more just more stronger. You're gonna make more of a benefit to yourself. You know what I mean? Keep, you know, if you keep your guard up in the right way, though. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff that's right there for you, it's your stuff. So don't deny it. You know what I mean? I'll see you next time. Peace.